What's up gamers, DreamcastGuy here, and it's Top 10 Thursday. You know, I'm gonna let you in a bit of my creative process. Sometimes when I'm trying to come up with an idea or I'm just adding onto a script, I love to look at my wall of games. I'll pick up something like Final Fantasy Tactics and imagine all the hundreds of talented individuals who helped create it. There were composers making music, artists drawing characters, each person serving their own important role. But what about the people who are working solo? Developers who have no assistance? This week, I want to take a special look at them. This is my picks for the top 10 amazing games made by one person. Number 10. Cave Story. We exist in a cool age where some brilliant artists can make a living putting their stuff on the internet and avoid all the business side of things. That was the main goal of the man who built Cave Story. He's just a passionate guy who wanted to give us the ultimate platforming adventure, so he put it on Steam hoping someone would enjoy it. Shortly after that, it started growing a huge fan base because of its tight shooting, mysterious plot, and pretty radical style. What really sucked me into this game is that it only tells you enough to point you in the right direction, but doesn't ever fully spell things out and get boring. Jumping over giant pits and blasting strange monsters was really fun in that classic way that you just don't see done anymore. Number 9. Retro City Rampage. I'm sure you've probably heard the phrase remake or reboot. This usually refers to a title that's being done again to try and make it bigger and better. What you might not have heard of is a demake. This is when you take something modern and purposely program it to be more old school and awesome. Retro City Rampage is a hilarious reimagining of Grand Theft Auto and asks the question, would all this bloody action be just as epic in 16-bit? The answer to that is a hardcore hell yes. We get unleashed in a town where almost anything can be driven, blown up, or at least set on fire. At one point, I was running from the cops and I hopped on a skateboard and just started cruising down the sidewalk at 40 miles an hour. Moments like this are pure chaotic entertainment in the best way. Number 8. Dust: An Elysian Tale. There will always be something bizarrely beautiful about hand-drawn character art. Seeing a hero fight in battle with the fluid movement of a cartoon and combined with the brutal efficiency of a trained assassin is stunning to watch in motion. Our story opens with a man named Dust awakening in a silent forest. It's here that he meets a talking sword. This magical blade claims that Dust somehow summoned him, so now the two join forces, which is a good idea since the nearby village is suddenly under attack. As we hack apart invaders and learn to work together, we slowly begin to understand more about this place. An Elysian Tale keeps you in the dark about what's really going on through a large chunk of the plot. It only reveals small details of a past war, terrible tragedy, and the part our hero played in it. The fact that this riveting experience was made by a single guy seems crazy. Number 7. Papers, Please. Every few years, a game comes along that can change how you see the world. These projects don't normally have the best graphics or groundbreaking control systems. Instead, they aim to put you in a difficult situation you might not have thought of before. In Papers, Please, you're a government worker at the border of a country amidst a rough conflict. We aren't told directly what's going on, but now thousands of people are trying to flee their nation and come here. It's your job to look at the documents of these desperate families and determine who's allowed in and who must be sent back to the horrible areas they came from. As you get further into the game, the list of rules to obey gets even longer, meaning your task becomes even more stressful. This weaves a painful balance because remember, you're just a regular person yourself. You need to do your job correctly to get paid or you'll go hungry. Number 6. Lone Survivor. My favorite genre of gaming always has been any kind of survival horror. The thrill of being stuck with very little supplies against armies of the undead is endlessly appealing to me. This project handles things in quite a unique method though. Rather than giving us shotguns and machetes and letting us wreak vengeance on the zombie hordes, it's smarter to just stay hidden. Bullets are very, very rare, so if you want to last another day, you'll need to practice your stealth. Putting meat in the path can distract nearby creatures and give you a chance to slip away into buildings and search for more supplies. This young man we're filling the shoes of must wrestle with not only walking corpses, but also his own sanity. Being perhaps the lone survivor of the human race can quickly break you. The designer of this game may have put things in 2D to save time, but I honestly think that it somehow makes my imagination run even more wild. It makes me more afraid of what could be coming for me next because I can't see it coming. Number 5. Stardew Valley. As the sun rises, you're already out in the fields picking berries, milking cows, and picturing what you'll buy today. These few acres of land aren't super special, but to you, it may be heaven. It's this simple concept that made Stardew Valley a massive hit almost instantly at launch. The developer of this organic masterpiece is Eric Barone. After graduating from college, he couldn't find work as a game maker, so he figured he'd sharpen his skills for coding by building a world of his own. Growing up, Eric spent hundreds of hours exploring in Harvest Moon. Running a farm, finding a wife, and doing silly daily chores made him happy. With that nostalgic idea, Barone constructed a staggeringly complex spiritual sequel to the franchise. Stardew Valley has now been bought by millions of people, all because of one man with a dream of planting a cute digital garden. Number 4. Meridian New World. Real-time strategy is perhaps the most intricate style of gaming because for every vehicle, weapon, and ability you create, you need to make sure it still flawlessly matches everything else. Meridian manages to pull that off with such impressive talent. We take on the role of a group of soldiers on a mission to chart a newly discovered planet. While entering orbit and preparing for landing, they randomly get a distress signal from the surface. This begins a weird story of rival civilizations and intergalactic battles. What I really like about this game is that it's actually shockingly easy to get the hang of. Whether I was commanding multiple sets of teams at once or just trying to sneak in the back of an enemy base to surprise strike them, I always had full control of the situation. Meridian combines many elements of stuff like StarCraft and Dawn of War to make a project that anyone can pick up and start enjoying in minutes. Number 3. Minecraft. This entry is extremely famous for several reasons. It's one of the highest selling titles of all time, the sandbox gameplay is way more addictive than you might expect, and it was all made by a solo dude. Minecraft is based around a straightforward goal. Whatever you can think of can be made if you have the patience and creativity for it. Personally, I got really into assembling roller coasters. It was so gleefully cool to dig for ore, smelt it, and lay tracks. The higher I went into the sky, the more excited I'd get about riding it. This merely scratches the top of what could be done though. I've joined servers where people are building huge real-world structures like Grand Central Station in New York, or just using bow and arrows for some old-school death matches. The heart and soul of Minecraft is about empowering the player to turn their thoughts into action. I guess another reason that this game is kinda well known is the fact that it was sold to Microsoft for over $2 billion freaking dollars. Number 2. Axiom Verge. Nintendo has invented loads of classic series over the decades. There's Mario, Zelda, and of course Metroid. Unfortunately, some of these have faded into obscurity in recent years. Axiom Verge intends to remind fans of Metroid why that franchise is so incredible by essentially being an unofficial follow-up to Samus's adventures. Our hero is a scientist experimenting with physics when there's a terrible explosion. As he regains consciousness, he's shocked to find out that he's still alive, but with how bad things are about to get, he might be wishing he was dead. In this alien world, he's going to need to master some strange tools and fast. For example, there's a lab coat that lets you walk through walls, a drill that can break barriers, and a weapon that shoots glitches that can screw up the game to your advantage. In every section of these maps, there's such a rare sense of energy that is so fun. Facing giant bosses and getting lost in the hallways is such a pleasure because even when you have no idea what you're doing, it's still going to be a really great experience. Number 1. Tetris. The grandfather of all puzzle games and arguably the project that helped the Game Boy become a major dominating force in the market is Tetris. The origins of this early high-score counting machine dates all the way back to a hot summer in June 1984. Alexei Pajitnov was working as a researcher in Moscow, Russia, a job he quite liked, when one day he was asked to test a new computer they'd built. Since he had a passion for problem solving, the clear choice for him was to set down a program that would fill the screen with bricks and allow you to delete complete lines of them. After some trial and error, we soon had the stellar title we have in the modern time. This went on to be ported to PCs, consoles, heck, even cell phones. Its deceptively basic nature makes it the perfect game for anyone of any age. This project is undoubtedly monumentally important, and for that reason, I'm awarding it my pick as the best game made by one person. Did your favorite project not make the list? Got an idea for a future top 10? Leave it in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do the biggest favor of all and keep dreaming. Okay, I really gotta dedicate this video to you people leaving awesome comments. Seriously, every single week when I make a video, I am so excited to read the comments. Like last week, this guy was talking about how Alien vs. Predator was so broken. This comment, in my opinion, makes my video better. I couldn't have done that on my own. Him contributing actually makes my work cooler. You guys are freaking amazing. Thank you. Seriously, it blows my mind. You guys kick ass. Thank you. You guys are the best. Holy crap. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked this video, maybe check out my last video. Please subscribe, and if you want, share this somewhere with your friends.